Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kayleen. For those of you guys who are new, welcome. And for those of you guys who aren't, welcome back. As you guys know, this is my second video here on my channel, and didn't ever think that I would be making this my second video on my channel because I didn't want my focus to be on kind of sitting down and talking to you guys. But this is something that means a lot to me and I think it's important to talk about, and that is what I will be doing today. And the first thing I wanted to address in this video is the difference between Latino and Hispanic. Okay, so Hispanic is a term that refers to a group of people who speak Spanish, including those from Spain, obviously. So not speaking Spanish, but they are of Spanish-speaking ancestry or origin, whereas Latino is most frequently used to refer to a person who is of Latin American origin or ancestry. So there's that. So the first point that I wanted to talk about was attending schools in white neighborhoods. I attended a high school that was predominantly white, but it really wasn't. My school was a very racist school. It was led by a majority of the administration was Caucasian, white, whatever. I explained to you a couple of scenarios that happened in my school that to me were based off of race. Or the first scenario was that there was, every year of course, graduating class has a valedictorian and a salutatorian. Based off of numbers, the actual valedictorian of that graduating class was of African American descent. The salutatorian was white. That white family backlash on the administration, and apparently they switched. So even though the numbers were there and the averages were there, they made a mistake, and instead she was held as valedictorian and the African American was switched to salutatorian. You know, the numbers are there, the facts are there, so it shouldn't ever be based on race to me, or to anybody, I feel like. Second scenario that happened was there were 3 teachers, African American teachers in my district, involved in this case because it did go to court. One of them was actually my teacher. I would take classes with him. He was one of the best high school teachers I ever had. An amazing man. He actually wrote a book on everything that happened. It's really crazy, like, you know, how little these things are, but how really big they are. So in his class, I would always see him with like a black band on. Like the end of the school year, I finally like got the guts to ask him. I was like, hey, what is the black band for? Why do you wear the black band for? And he was like, I'm protesting. And I was like, what are you protesting about? And he was like, racism in this school district. And it just all came down to the color of his skin and where he was from. The third instance that happened actually kind of like had to do with me in a little bit of a sense. We were filling out a form on a test that had asked us where we were from, or like our descent, Hispanic, Black, white, Native American, you know, yada yada. Well, usually they don't even put Hispanic or Latino, so I don't know what the fuck is good with that, but anyway. I usually don't answer them, but my teacher was hesitant on me answering it. So I was like, okay, well, what does it say under, you know, eSchool, which is a program that my school uses for like attendance and grades and stuff. So I was like, what does it say under eSchool so that it can match? Because I don't know, I'm just like that. And she was like, well, under eSchool, you're labeled as white. And I was like, huh, excuse me? Like, I am not white at all. Well, I was born in America, but my background, I have no white in it. So what the fuck? So I asked her to look up my friend Jennifer, who was right next to me, and I was like, can you look up what hers says, her race and ethnicity on eSchool? And it said white as well. And we ended up looking up all of the Hispanic students in that classroom, and only one of them actually said Hispanic, the rest were under white. I asked her why this happened, and she told me it was because My school, it is definitely 100% filled with minorities from all different types of ethnic groups. Asians, African Americans, Hispanics, Native Americans. And she said that my school's administration wanted to attract more white kids to our school. Where I live, it is a very wealthy neighborhood, where I think the only Hispanic family living in my neighborhood, but my school, students from like 4 other neighboring towns, so that's why like there's a lot of minorities in my school. Most people, if not everybody from where I live, they go to private schools, and they wanted to attract more white people to my school, and they would put in the system a lot of Hispanics and other minorities. They would put that we were white, so that when these families would look up my school's demographics, white would be the majority. And apparently that was said to attract more white people. So the second thing that I wanted to talk about was immigration misconceptions, I guess you could say, or stereotypes. So this actually ties into my 6th point, so I guess we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Hispanics are Mexicans. Everybody who is illegal comes from Mexico. Everything ties back into Mexico, and I think that that is just so wrong, first of all, because Mexico is not the only Latin American country there is. There are a lot of undocumented immigrants from Mexico, from Dominican Republic, from Ecuador, from El Salvador, from Honduras, from Paraguay, from Uruguay, from Colombia, from everywhere, you know. It's not just Mexico, so I need you guys to stop pointing fingers at Mexico, because it's not only them, it's everybody. Second, not everybody who comes to America as undocumented is here to cause harm, to take jobs away from Americans, to disturb communities. No. People are here because of things that are going on in their country that they are trying to escape. Whether that be gang violence, whether that be poverty, whether that be not having opportunity, whether that be all of my family is in America, why am I not there? Whether that be my life was fucked, so I want to guarantee my children a better life than I did. Hence, my 2 parents that immigrated from 2 different countries to this country. And look at me, I'm a 2nd-year student in college working to get a degree in physical therapy. Not everybody comes to this country to do harm. And I don't know where people, I'm like getting really like worked up about this, because it's just really like, it angers me, and it like ignites a fire in me that just does not want to ever go out. But not everybody comes here to do harm. My mother and my father are both citizens of the United States, but my mother came illegally 3 times, was caught, but she's here legally. She worked. She needed to get away from things that were going on in her country. She needed to get away from the poverty. She wanted to do this for my brother and I. She knew that down the line she would have kids. She wanted to do this to guarantee us the life she wished she had, but she never had. And here I am, an American-born citizen, not realizing how fortunate I am and how privileged I am to have that, and to be able to say, I was born in this country, I am a citizen, I am legal. Not everybody can say that, and unfortunately, it's a sad reality. I don't have words to express really like the anger that I have inside of me. It angers me, it really does. The fact that families are being separated, it's been a thing, it's always been a thing, but the fact that little kids, literally toddlers, are being separated from their parents, I just don't know what is going on. It's just so wrong to treat us the way that we're being treated. Lives are literally being taken away left and right, and nothing is being done about it. Like, another thing that bothers me is the racism that happens. I've experienced racism, my mom has experienced racism, my father has experienced racism. Pretty much everybody that I know, in some way, form or another, has experienced racism. My mom, all the time, she gets, you know, spoken to in ways that shouldn't because she works maintenance. All Hispanics work maintenance. That's another thing that I don't know. Both my parents work maintenance. It's not a great job, but it's a job, and they're contributing to the economy. They're paying off what they need to pay off. They're paying their bills. They're doing literally every single thing that an American family does, but they're judged because of where they come from. That is something that I do not understand, and I will never seem to understand, but hey, maybe it's just me. But mainly my mom has experienced it a lot in the workforce, or, you know, on a day-to-day basis. When she goes about her things, people speak to her and talk down on her because she has a really heavy accent and she cannot express herself in ways that most people in this country can. A lot of us cannot. And I know that because of people who come into my job who don't know how to speak the language, and my coworkers look at them like, what the fuck, you have two heads? And I'm like, hey, like, I got this because I can speak the language, fortunately. But what if there's not people who can work the language, who can speak the language? What if there's people who cannot help them? They're looked at and they're spoken to in ways like, you don't belong here, simply because they don't speak the language, which is another thing that I think is really wrong. I don't want to say that all white people are racist because they're not. So if that's what you're getting from this, then absolutely that's so wrong. There's a lot of white people, a lot of Caucasian people that I absolutely love, that they're actually helping us in this cause. And you know, it's not everybody, like I said. And another thing, not all Hispanics are good people. There's bad people in every type of group that there is, in every type of ethnic group that there is. I just don't like that people say all white people, or all Hispanic people, or all black people. No, that's wrong. Judging an entire group of people as opposed to specific individuals who do something bad and big enough to make all of us look wrong. So not all white people are bad, not all Hispanic people are bad, not all black people are bad. It's the same. The fact that I could potentially have family being separated because they're undocumented. I know people who have undocumented family as well, and the fact that they can be separated, it kind of tears my heart apart. Not kind of, it does tear my heart apart, and it just breaks me on the inside, because why is this happening, and why do they think that it is okay for it to happen? I am sure that if him and his wife, as in our president, his wife and his kids, were all separated, World War III would break loose, but no, it's us, so it's not a problem. I really wanted to talk about it because I think it's very important to talk about it, and it's probably a long video, but at the end of the day, I don't care. It's just, it has to be talked about, and I'm happy I took the time out to do so. Thank you guys again so much for watching. If you guys want me to talk about something else and give my opinion about something else, please let me know in the comments down below, or if you have any other video requests / idea, again, let me know down below. I think we need to all stick together and work together for the greater cause, whether that be to put our differences aside or work them out. But I think us people, groups, we need to really stick and work together and fight against what is going on in this country, because it is big, and freedom is not free. It's not. So I hope you guys like this video, and like I said, please rate and subscribe. Bye guys.